questions.
10 seconds.
All my breast.
Check lasers, please.
6, 5,
Okay, fade to black.
From the makers of Flatulence, the scented suppositories.
It's the Hershey S'mores Maker.
S'mores indoors.
You can melt your marshmallow, add real Hershey's chocolate to the graham cracker.
Yummy!
With one bite of s'mores, it's like being outdoors.
S'mores.
Make your own s'mores with the Hershey S'mores Maker from Spin Master.
Wow, you pitch a tent like a guy.
What the fuck?
I mean, you're not all girly about getting dirty and stuff.
Gee, thanks.
Show her how the cow eats the cabbage, you hopeless loser.
Hey out there, this is the Loud House Critic, one guy with 1,000 views and all the episodes I must review. So here we are. Not only are we at the end of the last Thursday of June, but we're also at the 199th episode of the Loud House Critic reviews. And I'm real super hyper about what I'm about to show you guys next week for the 200th episode. And it is a great one. It is a flawless one too. But we'll get to that right after I get done reviewing this episode. Roughin' It. This is exactly in the first season, and it's the 39th episode of the Loud House. You know, when I actually was told that there was an episode about Lincoln and Clyde actually camping in the woods, I took a look at it and I was kind of a little disappointed that somehow this got some of the lowest views of an episode like this one. And I can kind of see why, about how it didn't feel so much interesting to me at first when I actually saw this episode, or when I at least heard about it, especially when it had its sister's episode with the waiting game. But there was something about this episode I kind of like and I kind of can relate to, because the fact is, it's kind of like Raw Deal, but somehow it's nothing like it. But I won't really have too much to say about this episode. Oh, and I also like to play a little game during this episode review. I'll actually give you 3 hints about what the 200th episode could actually be. But you gotta pay close attention, otherwise you're not gonna get it right. But I'm gonna give you my first hint anyway. It's not an episode that focuses on Lynn Loud Jr. There's your first hint, that's strike 1. Let's get down to Roughin' It.
Damn it! It's all burnt. No, I knew it, Dennis. It's all burnt, every bit. They burn it.
Oh yeah, leave it. It's all burnt. The whole damn field is burnt. But we got a bigger problem, Elwood. We got 3 bona fide yuppies out there, lost somewhere, and we gotta track them. And we gotta catch them, and we gotta kill them.
Will our captivating captain find her first mate, or will it be man overboard? Find out tonight as we set sail for love on the Dream Boat.
So this is where the Dream Boat all began. But too bad this isn't where it ended.
I do actually find that she's actually really attractive. I better stop getting sidetracked and get back to the review.
Karen should totes pick Bronson. He's so gorge. I can't even.
No way, dude. What about Brock? He wrote her that sweet jam.
We love it, Balin. It's all true. I swear by my tattoo.
I don't have a tattoo. Was I off key?
Maybe a little.
I like Bram. Ew, he gives me the creeps.
Well, that isn't saying much, seeing how the way you scare the shit out of everybody every day. Do I even need to say who that guy is a reference of? Especially when he wrote one of my favorite books about a monster.
I like Bryant. He's so romantic.
What?
Oh, yes. I like to stare at a wishing well.
I stare at the ocean.
Horse trough.
Soap bubbles.
Karen, I'll be your North Star. Because no matter where this journey takes you, I'll always be there to guide you home.
'Cause we'll be a million miles away.
North Star? Ugh, poppycock.
There you go again, bringing that poppycock crap into this family.
Tree moss is a far more reliable means of navigation, given that it only grows on the north side of trees.
Oh, shut up! I hope your ass turned into a frog.
I like Blaine. I bet he can bench 300 pounds, maybe 320 with a spot.
Now, do I even need to tell everybody who that kind of really looks like compared to what I've seen a couple of years back in a Disney movie?
What can I say except you're welcome for the tides, the sun, the sky.
Whoa, wait, what's going on?
Blaine? But he wore flip-flops to their first date. I mean, I can't even.
Lincoln's fashion, no. Lincoln, it's so much fun watching the show with you. You're like literally one of the girls.
One of the girls?
Wow, that should have actually been an episode title compared to a worse episode title that they ever did. Even the Ninja Turtles couldn't even save that episode.
Survey says...
Fuck both of you.
This mud mask is both cleansing and invigorating.
Oh, my pores are tingling.
You're welcome.
Laura looks absolutely cute with that mud mask on her face. And Lincoln's got his legs crossed, kind of like how I do. I don't see anything wrong with that. We all cross our legs.
Thanks, Lincoln. I always mess up my right hand.
Same here, Lucy. Every time when I gotta put a costume on or if I gotta do some hand makeup, I always mess up with my right hand.
I thanked Pen for cutting off my hand.
Ew, gross. How did they get it to go all scabby like that?
Hey! Someone put her funeral dress in the wash with all my pageant gowns! I can't rip you apart if you're already dead!
Wow, I guess playing dead actually does work, even against a savage Lola Loud.
Survey says...
Keep quiet.
Oh.
Back 2 over 1.
You got it, bro! These accessories will make our outfits rockin'!
Rockin'!
Just take those old records off the shelf!
Who the fuck is that guy?
I have got to learn how to make those things as soon as I'm done actually making Luna Loud as a puppet.
Lincoln, how's that hem coming?
Almost done.
Thanks. I can wear this poncho for all 5 seasons.
Yeah, and look where that went with this show.
Shut up, Blip!
Doesn't get any more gayer than it's not supposed to be. But I hope that the 7th season will actually make it come to an end.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yikes! Is spending all my time around girls turning me into one? Nah, I'm sure I'll turn out fine.
Survey says...
Dancing buffalo bones. Nah.
Let's get the f*** out of here, man!
Oh, God, no! Let me go!
What'd I miss? Did Blaine finally put on some loafers?
This show's lame. Let's watch guy stuff.
Yeah, he sounds just like how the way I sounded when I was hanging around with 3 of my sisters while watching Bratz, Rock Angels, even playing the video game with them.
You could go as a sore loser again. You're great at that costume.
No, you are not parking here for a fucking week.
Aw, you mad, Blitzo?
Bruno. Yeah, about that Bruno.
Bring it on, baby! I'm Daddy Warbucks!
Good one, Jody!
Yeah! Loud House! All I do is win, no matter what!
A lifetime in the extreme wilderness has made Rip Hardcore as tough as a $2 steak.
Now this is my kind of show.
Since when?
Since I fucked your mother.
Oh, shit!
Whoa, turn it back! We're gonna miss the anchor ceremony!
That's my whipping arm!
What the hell's your problem, you dumbass?
Let me get this straight. You think living with the girls has made you unmanly, so we're spending a weekend in the extreme wilderness so we could turn into steaks?
Wow. You were really proud of that one, weren't you? I mean, that wasn't like a side joke or something you said under your breath. No, you made sure everything went quiet to deliver.
Now, are you ready to get extreme? You know it! Wait, I promised my dads I'd stay in their sight line.
What the hell do you see in them? So, Lincoln and Clyde actually go camping in the woods. You know, seeing them going out camping in the woods kind of reminds me of this Ronald McDonald cartoon I remember seeing. And I actually still have it. Check it out.
Let's rest. We've got another 3 hours till we make camp.
You've got to be kidding. 3 more hours, my poor delicate arches.
Isn't there an easier way? Hey, why don't you whip up something magical, Ronald, and we could get there in no time, eh?
Now this spot looks perfect. But the sign says, no camping here. Extreme danger. Exactly. Extreme.
You know, seeing a sign like this kind of reminds me of a Looney Tunes game I remember playing called Sheep Radar, where you got to play Ralph Wolf, and you got to steal a bunch of sheep from Sam's sheepdog. And at one level, I think it's either level 2 or 3, where you're not supposed to go into the water because there's a sign that says danger, no swimming, piranha-infested water. No. And every time I think about that, I think of the movie Disney's Peter Pan.
Our first order of business, securing shelter. My dad's used this tent on a safari last year. It has its own veranda.
Tough guys don't sleep on verandas, Clyde. They build their own shelter.
Oh, this ought to be fun. And if there's a god, please make this as stupid as it's gonna be.
What a beaut.
Survey says...
Why doesn't mine look like that? Why must life be so hard?
Oh, that's attractive.
Every attempt at masonry.
Looks like a house that would be built for Eeyore, which, by the way, why the fuck does he live in a bunch of stick houses? This ain't the 3 fucking pigs. If there actually was more than just one piglet.
Now how about we rustle up some grub? Great. My dad made my favorite, Swiss chard frittata.
Yeah, with Clyde actually bringing a basket like that with that little cheesecake, I'm guessing he'd rather be at Grandma's house.
My, what big ears you have, Grandma!
Tough guys eat beans. Were you thinking chili or more of a cassoulet?
I won't even ask how he even got that fucking grill somewhere in his backpack. But fucking cartoon physics, just like I can't understand how a gorilla can actually do this.
Take one step on that rope, and I'll cut it.
What did you say, nigga?
What big muscles you got.
Good stuff, right? Very tasty.
It looked like they have a dissatisfying taste for it, the same way like they did with 2 Boys and the Baby. I still can't figure out why they couldn't fucking read the label before eating it.
Have none of you ever checked?
Well, we're burning daylight here. Better get started on our campfire.
Way ahead of you. This baby's got LED lights, silk flames, and realistic crackling sounds.
You know, this is gonna drive so many people confused. Like, I don't know if anyone actually knows this, but there was this one kind of toy that you actually kind of plug in. It's kind of like a campfire kind of thing, and you can use these plastic kind of stick-looking kind of figures to actually put marshmallows on it, and you can actually put it into this device, and it kind of warms it up under this bright light. Kind of looks like something like this.
Making delicious hot schmoes.
They're called s'mores, Buzz.
Right, of course.
But the hell with that for Lincoln. They actually decided to make the fire themselves.
It's really fuck. Okay. I apologize. Fuck. Okay. I'm really sorry. It's just, man, this is a bad one. I mean,
Easy, did these boys take stupid pills today? They ever even considering of reading How to Make Fire for Dummies? And I thought Theodore was stupid enough to actually blow the fire out in Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwreck.
But rather than gather more clues, we have this lovely scene that we're forced to sit through.
Sorry, must have been the beans. Or the loss of feeling below my waist.
No need to apologize, Clyde. Tough guys let it all out.
Yeah, I have a feeling that someone was actually paid big time to at least do one single gas joke in this episode. Maybe even a dozen. How stupid and greedy can you get?
All this extreme ruggedness has worn me out.
What's for dinner, woman? I'm starving.
I hope you don't expect me to dignify that with a response.
What level of firmness do you want?
We don't need that. The ground will be our mattress.
It's pretty much dumb. Have you ever considered actually bringing your own kind of tent so you actually could sleep in it? It's much safer to be in there than actually sleep on the ground out here with no protection. There's wildlife animals that could be out here, and as I seem to recall, the sign actually said no camping, extreme danger. Are y'all really that desperate to actually get eaten?
We're tough guys, not animals. I'm really glad we did this, Clyde. Out here in the woods, away from all the girls, I'm starting to feel like a real man.
Oh, absolutely not.
Good luck getting into that phase.
Me? Toot!
Oh, here we go.
Hey guys, come on, what are you, 3 years old? This is how a man does it.
Nothing like waking up in... Water! We're in the water! Ah! How did this happen?
Doesn't everybody wish that they could actually read these days? Most people in the day rather not wear sunblock and do drugs all day while they're playing video games all day. Uh-oh.
Don't tell me. We're about to go over a huge waterfall.
A waterfall!
Hey, isn't that our shelter? It's making a deal!
Watch your mouth, you little smartass.
Hey, I just have a question. Is this a goddamn...
That's not funny.
I laugh when I'm sad.
Yeah! We're saved! And all because we built our own shelter, like the tough...
Son of a bitch!
You almost got me killed!
Lincoln! Are you okay?
Wouldn't that even hurt Clyde, considering he landed in the briar patch? He ain't no Brer Rabbit.
Hold me, never let me go. And my dream
I'm fine. I landed on a really soft rock.
Let's be perfectly honest with ourselves. I don't think that's a soft rock you actually land on.
Not a rock, moose!
Gee, I'd rather be hanging with this guy than my old Val Bullwinkle. He's a complete dumbass.
Boy, she really knows how to squeeze my hose. Bullwinkle. I'm just saying, she really knows how to make the wet stuff come out. Bullwinkle. Oh, and when I say come out...
Okay, don't come crying to me if the FCC leaves a horse head on your mattress.
At least I wouldn't be the only one getting head.
Oh, Christ.
That was weird.
Ha! Nothing two tough guys like us can't handle, right, Clyde? Whoa!
Hey, stop that!
Clyde, are you okay? I'm fine. I landed on a really soft rock.
So if you're smart enough to actually figure out what the running gag is, you probably already know what it is by now.
Not a rock, a beehive.
You spin me right around, baby, right around, like a record, baby, right around, round, round. You spin me right around, baby, right around, like a record, baby, right around, round, round. I'm Captain Hero and I can't feel my face!
This is still nothing tough guys like us can't handle. At least it's not raining. Is that all you got?
No, this is.
Hey there, mudslide.
Lincoln, I know this probably sounds lame to a tough guy like you.
What the fuck is so funny? You can't be serious.
But I'm hungry and wet and cold.
I've got a talking voodoo doll taking chunks out of my horse.
Now who's talking here, you or him?
I'm sorry, maybe that go wrong.
And I kind of wish I were with my dad at the B&B, eating welcome scones. So do I. I was kidding myself, Clyde.
Doe, haven't you always, kid? You're a boy, not a man. But you will be in the future. Just don't rush it.
How many times must we go through this?
After all those years around all those women, it's too late for me. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna lie down on this nice, soft rock.
Oh boy, now I ain't no Lenny Loud, but I can definitely tell that's not even a soft rock. As you can probably tell where the hell they're at, they're in a cave, and what kind of animal would actually be living in a cave?
Oh look, there's some fireflies. That's weird. They're in pairs.
Shut up! Ow! Shark, help!
Clyde, quick, play dead! You dick! Lincoln, that was amazing! How did you know to play dead?
I can't rip you apart if you're already dead!
You know, there's a whole lot you can actually learn from Lucy Loud herself. Hell, there's a bunch of shit I actually learned on my own before I even watched The Loud House and got to know Lucy Loud a bit. But there's something about her being in a family that seems off a bit, but I'll talk about it another time when it comes. And by the way, you should only play dead with brown bears, also known as grizzly bears. With other bears, it doesn't work. And yeah, that shit won't work with polar bears either.
It's not a good idea to play dead. Unlike other bears, they don't just want human beings to leave them alone, and may actually regard them as a food source. Laying down will only make this a likely outcome.
You know, seeing half all the shit that happened in this episode with them camping, them getting down Lost the River, and them actually meeting up with a bear, it reminds me of a funny-ass movie called Without a Paddle that had Steph Green, Matthew Lillard, and I forget who the other guy was. And yet, they ran into a couple of pot farmers, and they're probably the funniest part of the movie.
It's something I learned from Lucy. Does she know anything about keeping warm? No, but Lenny does.
I can wear this poncho for all 5 seasons.
Yeah, and look where that went with this show.
Shut up, Flip.
Doesn't get any more gayer than it's not supposed to be.
The key is the faux fur lining.
Wow, it is so toasty. The key is the birch bark lining.
You know, I never expect Lincoln to actually learn something from Lenny, but what the hell? Lenny's got the brains for once. And I'm hoping I can actually find a girl who's actually like Lenny Loud. So now Lincoln and Clyde will be on their way home, but they gotta figure out how to get out of there.
Which way? Why, it's just...
Now we turn around to find we are lost in the woods.
This way! Lisa said that moss only grows on the north side of trees. My dad's are staying at the North Valley B&B. Follow that moss!
I never thought I'd say this, but Lisa's definitely right for once. I thought her sense of logic would actually get these boys killed. As bad as she studies human shit and blowing shit up around in the house.
How do we get up there?
Maybe if we find some balloons, we could float to the top.
Are you kidding? I say we stack ourselves up, push the intercom, and pretend we're delivering a pizza.
How about a ham sandwich? With fries and a hot dog?
What about me?
Yeah, you can be the toy that comes with the meal.
You got it, bro! These accessories will make our outfits rockin'!
Rockin'!
Just take those old records off the shelf.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Alright, I'm gonna stop.
And if you braid the strands real tight, they're strong enough to use as ropes. Right, Chuck?
Right as rain, love. We're gonna need a bigger window, though.
Please tell me you just didn't use a quote from a Steven Spielberg movie. And yeah, I'm not even too sure as hell if that even is gonna work out.
That'll hold. This is great, Lincoln. What did you make this rope out of? This should help the poison ivy.
You moron.
Oh, my pores are tingling.
It also soothes sunburn, poison ivy, and mild to moderate acne.
Not to mention poison oak, if anyone remembers watching the movie Coraline. And yeah, I actually do have a jar of mud in the house.
Psst. Can you get me some of that magic mud you were talking about? Because I have a terrible case of writer's rash on my
language!
How we gonna move this bad boy?
I don't ask how hard the work is. Got a rough and destructible surface.
Step aside. I got this. You got
gotta lift with your legs, not your back. You see?
Give it to your sister and never wonder if this ain't pressure would have pulled you under.
Oh.
You're gonna fall off! You're gonna fall! You're gonna fall! It's a long way down!
How do you balance in those?
Eyes forward, chin up, tushy clenched.
I don't know about you, but someone in that studio who actually likes drawing the butt cheeks on either Lana and Lola, it makes me think that they actually might have a pedophile in that studio.
Makes your mouth water, don't it? Artie, they're too young to even understand what's on your mind.
Ben, good buddy, there ain't no such thing as being too young.
Well, okay, they know this guy is obviously a pedophile, but they haven't fired him from his job at a camp for children?
And thank God that's not what Chris was.
I'm home, it's home from work we go. We blow, each salt the suck we go. La 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 la, we blow.
Are you sure this is an underrated classic?
I don't give a shit!
Good tip, Lincoln. It really works.
I could have sworn I just saw Clyde McBride actually having eyelashes like SpongeBob and that queer Tweety bird. There's no reason to actually show off Clyde. But anyway, the boys actually make it all the way back home.
Clyde, we did it. We made it back.
Just smell the grass, the dirt, just like I dreamed they'd be.
I'm pooped. I'm just gonna sit down and wait for my dad on this nice, soft rock. Ah! Oh, this one's really just a rock.
Wow, that looks real.
So after that, expect the unexpected, that this time it actually was a real rock and not an actual animal you're sitting upon. Lincoln actually makes himself at home, and he actually learned a valuable lesson.
I thought spending so much time around my sisters was a problem, when actually it's just the opposite. If it wasn't for them, I'd probably be moose meal by now.
And that's exactly what I love about this show. The irony. Lincoln tried to act so manly throughout the entire episode, when in the very end, he ended up using his sister's advice and tactic skills to actually survive in the wilderness. And even though I actually hate this episode, but I actually love the irony that it actually gets the group. When Lynn Sr.'s group actually tried to get out of Aunt Ruth's, in the very end, they ended up being at Aunt Ruth's anyway. And yet they deserved it.
And now that I don't have to worry about what's manly or girly or any of that junk, I can go back to enjoying this. Who wants strawberry muffins?
I do.
We were right. We were right.
We were right. If I never knew you,
Hold me, never let me go.
and my dream questions.
Oh, Blaine, please tell me you're not wearing clogs.
Survey says...
What else is there?
So this was Roughin' It. Okay, to be honest, I'm really not going to have this much to say about this episode. This episode I really kind of enjoy so much because there's so much you can actually take in and process and actually see what's right about this episode. It ain't perfect, it's just good. Lincoln and Clyde actually get lost flowing down the river. They get chased by a moose, they get chased by a bear, mudslide comes by. They're burping and farting in the woods, which was somehow not even that much needed. But then again, with that kind of bullshit that they actually put in there, I did pick up a few Lion King 1.5 and Shrek vibes off that. Considering how Lincoln was actually hanging around with 10 sisters and he thinks like he's becoming one of them, he actually tries to find his manliness while he actually goes camping out in the woods, which doesn't turn out too well for him and Clyde. And even Clyde doesn't even do very much in this episode, which he normally would do in other episodes. But somehow with this episode, it kind of knew how to use him in this episode. And as things don't even go out for the two of them, Lincoln actually does use some tips and skills that he actually learned from his sisters. And all those flashbacks were actually a nice touch. I think they were so much the highlight of this episode. I especially enjoyed Luna's flashback, Lucy's, and even Lola's. And it kind of has a weird lesson in this episode about living with girls isn't that bad. So the story is pretty decently good. At least Lincoln didn't get any sort of punishment like he did in Sleuth of Consequences, which I still find that was a bullshit consequence he even got, or even hurt badly like he did in April Fool's Rules, which Luann was probably at her worst. And I can actually relate to this story because in the very beginning, before I was about to be born, I was supposed to be a girl at first, but I'm more satisfied as a guy. And there can be times I can actually feel like a girl sometimes, but not dressed like one, just actually do voice imitation, just for a laugh. Especially after when I saw how Robin Williams did it in Miss Doubtfire. And yet when I was Lincoln's age, I used to watch so much movies like Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Aladdin, maybe even Hercules. I would never even watch too much of Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, nor Cinderella, because I thought those films were just for girls, and I just figured some more boy action would actually get me somewhere. Especially when I got addicted to Power Rangers. But when I got older and graduated high school, I actually learned to balance out so many Disney films. I learned to accept Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, The Little Mermaid, and even Pocahontas. So really, there's some things I can actually quite relate with this episode. But if you're actually a fan of the first, second, and third seasons, then you might be alright with this episode. This has been the Loud House Critic. Here comes the big 200 next week, people. Hope y'all are right about this one. I'm getting out of here.
Me time, a little room to breathe. Time, a little quiet and peace I've never had.